Hello everyone, welcome to the data visualization class. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to visualize random walk using Python. Okay, first we're going to introduce what is random walk. The random walk describes a path that consists of the sequence of the random steps. So let's say if we want to create a random walk based on two-dimensional coordinate system, we need to take a look at the x-axis and the y-axis separately. So first, we're going to define the random steps on x-axis, and then we're going to define the random steps on y-axis. Okay, now we're going to form the whole trajectory based on the random steps on x-axis. And next, we're going to form the whole trajectory of the random steps on y-axis. And finally, we're going to wrap up everything and visualize the entire sequence for both x-axis and y-axis. And then you're going to create the visualization like this one. Okay, before we jump into the Google Colab, we would like to introduce some functions to help you visualize the random walk. The first function is random.normal. Okay, so this function is from the NumPy library, and it will create some numbers. And in this situation, we're going to create some steps, and every step draw from a normal distribution. So let's take a look at the first function, NumPy random normal size equal to 100. So basically, what does this function mean is to use Python create 100 steps, and each step has a length that is comes from a normal distribution, and we're going to put all of these numbers into x steps. Okay, so that is for defining the random steps, 100 random steps, and each one has a certain length, and each length comes from a normal distribution. Okay, next is we're going to use CompSum, this function, to construct a whole trajectory based on x steps, because in the first function, you're going to create a sequence that consists of 100 steps, right? Because these sequence of the random steps are singular or individual steps. You need to wrap up everything to form a whole trajectory. So that is how the NumPy CompSum function do this work. Okay, and then we're going to put everything with x. So this is how we form the whole trajectory of the random walk on x-axis. And we're going to do the same for the y-axis, and then we're going to visualize the entire sequence. Okay, so after we talk about the logic behind the random walk, let's jump into the Python code, Google Colab, to write some Python code to visualize the random walk. Okay, first of all, we're going to import some libraries. We're going to import the matplotlib, Seaborn, those two for visualization, and then we're going to use we're going to import NumPy and random, because NumPy help us to conduct some operations, and the random is we're going to because we're going to form the random walk, so we're going to definitely use this library as well. Okay, so first of the step is we're going to generate some steps. Generate steps, random steps for x-axis. Okay. And as we said before, we define the x steps equal to numpy.random.normal, because we're going to draw all of these, we're going to make sure that each step, the step length comes from the normal distribution, and size equal to 100. So let's say we're going to use 100 steps, okay? So that is for the x-axis, and for the y-axis, we're going to do the same. we're going to generate random steps for y axis. So y steps equal to numpy dot random dot normal size equal to 100 as well. So make sure that the size are equal, because you want to make sure that the both x-axis and the y-axis have certain level of consistency. Okay, so that is all the steps. Okay, and let's print those steps. Let's say x steps. Okay, so that is all of the steps. Those are the individual lengths of the step, and each value represents the length of the step, and these are from the normal distribution or Gaussian distribution. Okay, next we're going to form the trajectory of x-axis and y-axis. Okay, let's do the x-axis first. So x equal to numpy dot consum, and we're going to include x steps. Okay, and for y, the trajectory will be numpy consum y steps. Okay, so that's it. So basically we form the two trajectories for x-axis and the y-axis. Okay, after we have those trajectories, now it's time for visualization. Okay, so this step is really simple. First of all, we're going to define the figure size. We're going to use plot dot fig size. Let's use 6 by 6. So what I mean here is to create an empty canvas. The size is 6 by 6. And then we're going to use plt function. And then we're going to put the x trajectory, the trajectory for x-axis, the trajectory for the y-axis inside of this function. And let's define a color. Let's say green. And line width equal to 3 or 4, 3. And then we're gonna use plot dot grade. Set that for true, because sometimes you need some kind of grade as a background. And plot dot show. So let's visualize that. Okay, now you have this random walk. Okay, so we have x-axis and y-axis, and those are the random walk. And if you run that again, you probably would have a different visualization, because each time you run that, the Python will create a different set of the steps so that the entire trajectory would be different. So let's run this again, and trajectory again, and then visualization again. So you can see that this time your random walk will be like this. Okay, so this is how you use Python to create two-dimensional random walk. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time.